consecutive losses. Assuming that 2 and 3 maybe doesn't best describe what they are.
No, heck no. You better be ready to play Georgia Tech. I'm just going to tell you. They lost at Notre Dame. Let's not forget Notre Dame was the 5th ranked team in the country, and they're still really, really, really good. And they 16-7 in the fourth quarter up there. If you watch the game, and Georgia Tech had a really bad turnover. I think on kickoff return right there. They got after them guys at their place. I know the score, got away right there at the end, but it was 16-7 in the fourth quarter, and Georgia Tech it made some uncharacteristic mistakes that hurt them in that game, and then they lost to North Carolina, North Carolina's probably in the lead in the Coastal right now. What are they, 4-1 or 5-1 or something? That's a solid football team, and Duke's got one loss to Northwestern, who's undefeated. So they've played good people. Georgia Tech's a really good football team. I mean, we have a ton of respect for their program and who they are. The record has nothing to do with it.
That's Dabo Swinney at his press conference on Tuesday following the Notre Dame game and prior to the Georgia Tech game that is coming up at Death Valley. So there you have a little bit about that. By the way, some years back, Dabo won the Bobby Dodd Award Coach of the Year, and this group that gives it out gave him the Coach of the Week this week after the win against Notre Dame. Moving along a little bit and talking about the Heisman, a lot of people have their Heisman list and they go along with it. So we're going to take a look at what's been going on with the USA Today's Heisman list. Leonard Fournette of LSU running back has 21 first place votes, 1 second, a total of 83 votes that he got, all of them. Tavon Boykin of TCU, the quarterback out there, he is second. He had 1 first-place vote. Ezekiel Elliott, Ohio State running back, had 5 second-place votes. Jared Goff, California quarterback, had 3 third-place votes. So he is now there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nick Chubb has fallen to 5, and that's after what happened in between the hedges this past Saturday. So, Josh Dotson of TCU, a wide receiver, is next. Derrick Henry of Alabama, running back, had a fine day against Georgia. Shock Linwood, Baylor, a running back, is next. And Baker Mayfield of Oklahoma, the quarterback out there, is next, followed by Seth Russell and Travis Wilson. Both of them, one of them from Baylor and the other one from Utah. They're both quarterbacks and having fine years. Utah and Baylor are as good as anybody in the country right now. Absolutely. They are. I don't know. Baylor just looks completely unstoppable. I don't know what you do with them. You might can try to outscore them. I mentioned Sarrigan a minute ago. I never have totally understood. He puts all these things into these computers, and he comes up with his ratings and his schedule rank and his overall rank. Number 1 overall, this time Sarrigan, has Alabama. Now, these computers comparing everybody after they have played everybody else. So if you played a team, they go back and they look at that team's one-loss record and the strength of all of those that they played, and it's kind of confusing for someone like me. All right, so Southern California is second, and they're followed by Baylor. Boy, those two got to be good for ahead of Baylor. Stanford is number 4. Oklahoma is number 5. TCU is 6, Michigan is 7, Clemson 8, Mississippi 9, Utah is 10, according to these strength things that he does. Now, I always look at his strength of schedule. Who have you played that in the end so far, after everything's been added up, is the toughest, and you have the number 1 tough schedule? His is Brigham Young this week. Number 2 is Baylor. Number 3 is Oklahoma. And I bounced around a little bit. Number 6 is LSU. Clemson is in there at number 9. South Carolina, by the way, is at 11 as strength of schedule. And if I'm reading that correctly, number 11. Georgia Tech, in their strength of schedule, is 28th, playing Clemson this week. Those are just some interesting things that people like to talk about, give you something to argue with your friends about, having coffee or having a drink after work or whatever. And those are the things that have gone on. So there we have it, what we have for this week with South Carolina hosting some Tigers. What I've mentioned right now, things got to be tough down in Columbia after the horror that has gone on down there. You realize a lot of those people don't have the right insurance to cover their homes because you can't buy flood insurance if you're not in a floodplain anyway. And a lot of people don't buy it anyway when they're in a floodplain. And, it's kind of strange. These people now have taken a loss. The government has got to step in and help. Most of the people in South Carolina don't like a lot of government help, but this time these people have got to have some help. And we certainly hope they'll do. The president has signed an order that is a disaster area and those sort of things after the governor asked. So say the prayers for those people who they need help from all around the world as far as prayers are concerned. And that, my friends, I don't know what's going to happen to the high schools down there, if they can even go to school, get to school open. Is the field fit to play on? What they're going to do is something that I just don't know. Now, we will have another show this week. Lake Morris and I will have a high school show on this little program. So this is Ken Allison saying so long, everybody.